Welcome back to the channel, guys, the Psychotic Circus of Savannah. I have been so excited to unbox this animatronic. I actually showed footage of this guy like 2 years ago, and he's finally here thanks to the good people at HalloweenCostumes.com. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. It helps us out a lot. And just so you know how we do things here, we're gonna go ahead and open this up, unbox its contents, put it together, see his demo, and I will give you the pros and cons to Arty the Clown. So first thing starting off is his base. We also have a couple poles wrapped in one thing of styrofoam. Usually a styrofoam is to fatten out a limb, so it's kind of strange we got 2 poles with one piece of styrofoam. Now we do have the typical SVI clown shoes, however, they're actually 2 separate colors, one red and one blue.
Do you know your colors? Can you say them with me? Red.
Red.
Blue. Blue.
Now we have his hand and his paint bucket, which is from the Clown Town Painter Company. We have his other hand with his paintbrush, and it does look like this paint is the color of blood. Anyway, we have his head, which you guys know, sometimes these are hit or miss, so I'm really excited to see the quality of this head. His face looks like one of the best SVI faces I have ever seen, where his structure seems to be pretty much intact with exactly how his latex looks. Sometimes the latex will have weird folds around the jaw. This one just looks immaculate. I love that there's blue paint on one side of his face, red paint on the other side of his face. I have not looked at any of the official demo videos of this guy, so I'm really excited to see how he looks both in light and in dark, and to hear what his sayings are. We have his AC adapter. We have his instructions. Welcome back to Painting with Bob Savag here. We're gonna go ahead and do a beautiful landscape. We're gonna go ahead and add a little bit more base to our SVI instructions. Want to have a nice white base covering as much as you possibly can. And if you happen to knock over a bunch of crap, it's okay, they're just beautiful mistakes. I want to go ahead and add some green foliage. How about we have a nice, wonderful green pasture, maybe around sunset, let's say. There's no reason to have a plan. Just go ahead and do what your heart wishes. Still need a little more grass here. Actually running out of some green, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix a little bit of blue with just a little bit of yellow and see if that makes our own green. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. At least we're trying. Okay. God damn it! Yeah, that looks pretty good. Now I think that we're gonna do a nice, beautiful redwood tree. What I'm doing right now is just doing a beautiful tree trunk. You know, tree trunks are funny things. You cut them open and you can tell how old they are by how many rings they have. Let's go ahead and get some branches going on here. A couple little branch-a-roonies, branch-a-romos, and some Tony Romos. There we go. Now I completely forgot that we ran out of green, so I don't know what we're gonna do for the leaves. So instead, you know what? We're gonna just mix a whole bunch of colors around. Maybe it's fall time, and we're gonna just go ahead and do something beautiful like that. I'm gonna add some yellow. Like I said, a nice little sunset. Maybe it's a sunset over here going down behind a mountain of tranquility. Yeah, it's very nice. I also have black here. And so I'm just gonna randomly paint this section black. Why? I'm not sure, but we'll see how it looks. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Just a couple more little dabs of paint here and there. And now, let's get a close-up of our finished product. I like to call it Bahama Breeze. There's a couple little mistakes, but they're happy mistakes. I hope that you learned a lot at home and that you're proud of your work and yourself. Until next time.
We have his costume, which includes this pretty nifty hat. We have his waist piece, and also looks like his motor or one of his motors is included. One of his arms, some more multiple poles wrapped in one piece of styrofoam. We have, I'm assuming, an elbow arm piece that also has a motor. So we're counting so far 2 motors on this animatronic. And we have his main body frame that includes his control box. So let's go ahead and put him together, check out his demo, and then I'll give you my pros and cons. So start with the base. Go ahead and place the B leg pole onto the frame and slide the red shoe onto the left leg. Place the blue shoe on the right peg. Now place the other leg on, but be sure to connect the brace to its bracket. Go ahead and add the top halves of the legs on. Place the foam on the tops of the legs. Next, unbag his costume and place it over the frame. Now add his waist section. Now add the main torso piece. And at this part, I like to connect as much of the wires as I possibly can. So right now I'm connecting his main control box to one of his motors, his IR sensor, and one of his sound modules. Now you want to attach both arms and be sure to connect the corresponding wires together for each arm. And don't be confused by his right arm. It's much smaller than his left arm. Now go ahead and attach both hands and be sure to attach the wires from the left arm to the left hand, because that is going to give us a pretty cool look to our painter's can that he's holding. And for the final steps, place his head on, his hat on, plug in all the corresponding wires, and finally the ever so important neck ruffle. Now let's go ahead, plug him in, and check out his demo.
This time of year sure has the best colors. The orange pumpkins, the bright glowing moon, the dark shadowy corners, the blood on my brush. Oh, I mean paint. The paint on my brush. You know what? I'm actually helping people to make art all the time. They're always drawing their last breath. You get the picture now? Sorry, I'm not quite in the right frame of mind. Say, friend, you look mighty colorful. Looks to me like I should paint you with my favorite color, red. Yes, sir. I think you would look a lot more sophisticated that way. Hey, you look familiar. Maybe it's because I've been peering into your windows. I do paint houses after all. I'm just so happy to see you again. Come on, come closer. I'm harmless. I just love the color red, don't you? I could paint red everywhere. When I'm done here, I think I'll paint your house red too. Don't that sound nice? I'm running out of red paint again. Now where am I gonna find more red paint?
So Arty the Clown, what are his pros and his cons? First, let's talk about his pros. So I am so happy that we again have a tall clown that's coming to market. He is 7 feet tall and his face sculpt is immaculate. Like it looks exactly like all of his pictures have always looked. I couldn't be happier with the quality of his face. The way that they even did his teeth, There's indentations and lines, crevices almost, between each individual tooth and in between his teeth and his gums. It looks better than a lot of the SVI clowns that we've seen in the past. And I don't know what it is. I'm absolutely in love with the way that his paintbrush looks. It looks like it is truly just gobbed with paint. And I don't know, it looks realistic despite it being pure plastic. And I also love the creativity that they have done with his paint job, having one half red and one half blue, but that's kind of going to transition well into the cons. I feel like there's a huge clash between the red on his hair and the red of his neck ruffle, to the point where with certain lighting, you can't even really tell that he has hair on one side. It's weird to describe, and I'm not sure if it comes across on camera, but I just think it would have looked better if they would have made all of his hair blue, seeing how all of his neck ruffle is red. Also, the paint / blood that is on his outfit, it looks washed away, which looks good if this was supposed to be something that he had done previously, but it doesn't match the blood on his hands, on his brush. That looks more fresh. I think that the costume could have been done a little bit better in order to match that freshness of the blood paint combo. Now, this isn't just a con about this particular clown or in particular any tall SVI prop, but just most props in general, is that when they get taller, they have them kind of looking down towards the ground, which I understand because majority of the people looking at these animatronics are going to be small trick-or-treaters, but I do feel like this guy in particular has a very arched back, and I would like some of these animatronics to stand up a little more straight. Not every single one of them is going to be right there at the point that a trick-or-treater will be coming in direct contact with them, and so I do feel like if this guy was going to be a little bit further back, I would have liked him to look a little bit more straightforward. Now, he has 5 sayings, and all of those sayings are the typical animatronic that we see nowadays, where they're kind of cheesy. They're talking about, you know, what they're gonna do when they get a hold of some trick-or-treaters. And I'm just really surprised that an animatronic actually uses the word blood, because I feel like we don't see something that's that gruesome nowadays, although it's rather cartoonish. And the concept to this guy may be a pro or a con for you. I don't know how many people would have a paint section or something that looks like it was recently painted in their haunt. However, with us, we do have a display of a kissing booth that looks like it was painted with fresh blood. And I think this guy next to that kissing booth would be a really, really good touch. When I originally saw the bucket online years ago with this dripping light piece, I kind of thought that it looked cool. In person, I'm not too sure how well it comes across that it's dripping blood as opposed to just lights on a can. The way that the drips are, they kind of disappear when they get halfway down the can and then reappear again. And it's just a little bit strange. I'm not sure that I'm super happy with the way that that was executed. All in all, I think that this is one of the best SVI clowns that we've seen in a while, though. I do think that it's something that we'd be able to use in our haunt, and I'm really excited to see how he's gonna match up with the rest of our animatronics in our collection. But what do you guys think? Make sure to comment down below if you think that this guy is picture perfect for you, or if you think that, well, he'd be better off left out to dry. As always, happy haunts.